Barakim Habarim, welcome to Messianic Moment Ministries. I'm Stephen Bruck, you know who you are, and today is the 12th day of September 2023. Now, to many Christians, the Torah is a set of laws, and sadly, most Christians have been taught that these laws apply mostly just to Jews. Christians have been taught that Jews are saved by the Torah, but Christians are saved by faith in Jesus, and all they need to do is be a good person and love each other. Oi! If only it was really that easy. In fact, the laws that are in the Torah are really, commandments. They're given directly from God. So let's take a look at the actual Hebrew word for commandment, which is mitzvah. And mitzvot, the plural form of mitzvah, are laws that God said we must perform. Now, until Yeshua taught us a deeper, more spiritual understanding of these laws, that is called the Remez, the Pharisees had been teaching just the plain language of the law, which is called the Peshat. Here's an example. The Pharisees had been teaching that you should not murder, but Yeshua said it was more than just not murdering. We should not even hate in our heart. Another example, the Pharisees taught not to commit adultery, but Yeshua said not so much as to even lust with your eyes. You see, Yeshua taught that we must do more than just obey the law. We must personalize it. Now, the new covenant God made says, and this is in Jeremiah 31 to 33, in that he says, I will put my law, mitzvot, in their minds and write it on their hearts. Well, what does it mean to write it on our hearts? To me, that means we will not obey what God says to do just to meet the letter of the law, but it'll be part of us, just as breathing, as eating, as any other autonomic function of the body, because his mitzvot will be a part of our very essence. He's gonna write it right into our DNA. So what about the Gentiles who accept Yeshua? Will they also have to have God's mitzvot written on their hearts? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Of course they will. Anyone who wants to be part of this new covenant God made, which ironically is enough is what Christians believe they are under. Anyone who wants to be under the new covenant will have to have God's mitzvot written on their hearts. Now, do you Gentiles out there get it yet? Being a good person won't be enough. Besides the fact that Yeshua himself said no one is good except God, that's Mark 10:18, God said through Jeremiah that anyone who is going to be part of the new covenant will have God's mitzvot written on their hearts. So they will be, here it comes, get ready, they will be obeying the Torah. Here's another little goodie for you. A mitzvah has a secondary meaning of being a good deed. Now that means if you want to stick by the improper teaching of all you need to do is be a good person, well, good people are known by the fact that they do good deeds, right? So to be a good person, you have to perform mitzvot. And since mitzvot really means also both good deeds and God's commandments, even under this traditional Christian teaching of being a good person, well, you're going to be a good person, you got to do a mitzvah. Mitzvah means commandment, so you got to obey the Torah. Oy gewalt! Traditional Christian teaching has always said that the Torah is just for us Jews. But now, you're telling me that to be a participant in God's new covenant, I have to obey the Torah? Hey, that's not what I say, folks. It's what God says. Those who God makes this new covenant with will have his laws, his mitzvot written on their hearts. And the only mitzvot that existed, in fact, the only mitzvot God cares about, are the ones he gave us. And they are in the Torah. That's the reason why any person, Jewish or Gentile, who wants to be under this new covenant God is making with us will have to have his mitzvot, God's mitzvot, written on their hearts, which means they will obey the Torah. not as a result of some legalistic motivation and not to earn salvation and not from fear of going to hell if they don't. No. Anyone who will be under the new covenant will obey the Torah because, well, it'll be as natural to them as breathing. My advice to anyone who wants to be in God's presence throughout eternity is that they will have to be under the new covenant God said he will make. So the first thing they need to do is unlearn whatever their religion has told them. Next, whether Jew or Gentile, sadly, most Jews don't know the Torah any better than most Gentiles do. Secondly, they should read the Torah over and over to get familiar with the mitzvot God gives so they will know how to worship and treat each other the way God says to do it. Finally, and this is directed to my Jewish brothers and sisters, you're going to need to accept the truth that Yeshua, who they call Jesus, is the Messiah God promised to send. There you have it. All your Christian life you have been told just being a good person and loving others will get you a ticket into heaven. But, well, now you know that's a bunch of dreck. You need to obey God, not a religion, if you want to be in his presence. Well, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my website. There's a subscribe button in the right-hand margin. On YouTube here, click one of these things, and either way, do the little notification thing, hit the bell, all that stuff. Next time you're on Facebook, like anybody's ever off Facebook, like my Messianic Moment, Facebook page. And while there, look for my Facebook group. It's called Just God's Word. There's also a link to it on the website. But make sure you agree to the rules. You got to click you agree to the rules, or I can't let you in. I can't post anything for you. It's not going to work. And share these messages with everyone you know. And, if you like what you get here, you will like the books I've written, so buy them. That's it for today. So, Hitrot and Baruch Hashem.